for the technical difficulties.
It's this thing's fault, all right? So blame it on this thing.
We had some problems, but they're fixed now. If you have any questions whatsoever, be sure to email them to jqm5698, and I'll be sure that they're asked to our panel or to our speaker today live in this meeting. So thank you all for joining us as well. So as I was saying, we've got some really great opportunities to go to Erie Insurance. It's a great networking event. Erie is a fantastic company, and it's something that I think that we should be very excited about. Unfortunately, space at this event is very limited. They told me to try to limit it to 12 people. We might be able to talk them into one or two more, but it's going to be tight. Their trading floor isn't that large, so they can only fit so many people in there. It's going to be about a 2-hour event. It's totally free. We're going to have transportation from campus. So in addition to the tour, we're going to get to do a Q&A, a meet and greet, kind of get to know some of the traders, some of the people there that really make your insurance tick. So if you're interested, sign-up sheet's right over there. Again, there's only 12 spaces. So if you sign up, if you're interested, be sure to put your name in now because it's going to fill up quickly. And preference will be given to members in good standing that have paid their dues. So if you haven't done that yet, be sure to get that in because we'd really appreciate that. Additionally, while I know everyone here is always loves to see me standing up here, this is my last semester. It's the last semester for a lot of the officer team. We will have elections in November. So if you're interested in taking part, taking a leadership role in this club, and really getting up here, be sure to think about it. Be ready to have someone nominate you at our next meeting in November, which is going to be, again, the first Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m. Next one's going to be in Burke 236. So write that down. We're going to have signs and emails going out too. So if you don't write it down, you'll see it plenty of times. But leadership here is a really great opportunity. I've learned a lot just being president. I've been president promotions. It's a fantastic opportunity. I've made some great friends, really gotten a lot of good experience. And frankly, it looks great on a resume. It's one of the things that I'm positive helped me get hired. When I leave here, I have a full-time position. And being an officer here gave me some of that experience, some of the confidence, and some of the bullet points on that resume that really do help. So I highly recommend if you're interested to step up for it. Now, if you're not quite ready for a full leadership position, but you still want to help out, we have committees. If you want to help out, if you want to help with promotions, with our programs, with socialization, you can do that as a committee member. Unless you take a leadership position without really getting up front, and we could really use the help. That goes double if any of you have any technical experience. If you know web design, anything like that. We have a website, it's brand new and shiny, and none of us really know how to do anything with it. So we can really use some help getting it updated, keeping it running smoothly. So if you're interested in that, just talk to me after the meeting, send me an email, and I'll give you the full rundown. We also have descriptions of all of those program heads on that sheet right over there. All right. Let's see, anything else? Yes. One more thing to talk about. One more exciting thing. Every semester we have an end of the semester party. It's our way to kind of blow off steam before finals, to say goodbye to everyone, to wish farewell to anyone that's graduating. This year, it's going to be at Dr. Phillips' house. So it should be a fun time. If any of you are interested in what Dr. Phillips does in his free time, great opportunity. We are going to need free time. We're going to need head count early, though. We're hoping to have this catered. Normally, we just go to a restaurant and have everyone pay for their own food. In this case, we're going to have that set up beforehand. So we will need a hard head count at our meeting in November. So think about it. Be sure to lock it down. This is going to be the last Thursday of the school year. So it's December 10th. It starts at 6 o'clock. And if you're interested, be sure to know that we'll have a sign-up sheet ready to go for November, and we'll have an estimate for price for catering. We're still trying to lock down exactly what vendor we're going to go with for that. But just keep that in the back of your mind.
And for those of you who we can carpool, we can come up with transportation to help you out here. Hey, in case you want to do that. For those of you at World Campus, we'd love to see you too if you want to drive up to Erie. But we will. But we live over by Asbury Woods, back in Asbury Woods Estates. If you're aware of that part of town, so we'll be coordinating transportation to get you back there. So think about coming. We'll get down.
All right. Well, that's everything for announcements. Now I'd like to introduce Laurel Brown. She's going to be our key speaker today. Laurel took over as the Director of Professional Development here at Behrend last semester, and she's done a great job. We've got a lot of new programs that are coming out to help us get jobs, to get hired, because as I know I've said several times, and a lot of our professors have kind of reinforced, education is fantastic. We all love to learn, but the reason we're all here is so we can get a decent job. That's why we're in finance. So Laurel is the person that can help us do that. So everyone can please give her your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Go to the World Campus. This is a new experience for me. This is pretty cool. Oh, and my husband just joined us, so that's pretty cool too.
Unbelievable.
How many of you are freshmen? I'd just like to kind of see how many are freshmen. So just 4 freshmen and sophomores. 5, maybe 6 sophomores, juniors then. So we have quite a few juniors, and we have a lot of seniors then, obviously, too. Right? Good. I thought you were one of the well, I'm very proud of the fact that I have been a career counselor, and I'm not quite proud of this fact, but longer than all of you have been alive, probably, except for my husband and Greg, and I don't know, maybe we have some adult students, but I've been a career counselor for 25 years. And I started a career development center for John Hancock Financial Services. Isn't that pretty cool? I worked for a financial company, but of course, at that time, I really didn't even know what a financial company necessarily was. But I started at the time when all of the companies, when IBM and digital started laying off employees, right? Before that time, nobody ever lost their jobs due to downsizing, right? How many of you know somebody who's lost their job due to downsizing? Right, we all of us do, really. Or just reorganizing or whatever. So that started 25 years ago, and now you are living in the age where jobs are not as easy to acquire. They're not as easy to keep, right? To keep long term, because things happen. Companies downsize and foreign competition, all the things that you're all studying that I should have listened to my husband talk about more over the years. It's really, really exciting for me to be here at Behrend to see what opportunities all of you have to start getting ready for your careers. And you have so many great opportunities to find out about yourself, about your own interests and your values. What are your work values? What's your personality type? Are you really well suited for the types of careers that you're kind of thinking about? And because of the professional development program now at Behrend, you have the opportunity every semester to get involved in activities like this and find out what you like, find out what you don't like. Years ago, I was actually working with a college student who was graduating with a degree in accounting. And he said to me, my father is an accountant, my grandfather was an accountant, all of my uncles are accountants. So, that's why I'm going into accounting. He was in his senior year, and he came back to me and said, oh my gosh, I just started looking at some accounting firms and touring them and going to some recruiting days, and I don't think I want to be an accountant. And he'd spent 4 years with that as his goal. So you're not going to have that situation here at Behrend, because every semester you're going to be able to take advantage of opportunities to find out what you do want to do. How many of you would like to find a career? And that doesn't mean you have to just have one. How many careers do you think people have on average in their lifetime now in the United States? How many careers? 6 to 8. In the United States, 6 to 8. I'm definitely on at least my 6th. And I like that because my personality type is that I really like change. But if you're thinking about what you want to do for your first career path, you should be thinking one word that's one of my favorite words in terms of careers: passion, right? How many of you would like to be passionate about what you do? Everybody should be thinking that, right? Would you like to be just so and I hate getting up Monday mornings? Wouldn't you like to have a career that you couldn't wait to go to on Monday mornings? I know Dr. Phillips feels that way. Don't you? It's obvious. You love what you do. And that's really what the Black School of Business is going to help you find out through the professional development program. Okay? Josh, if you wouldn't mind, I'll ask you to hand these out. I don't know how we get these to you people. How do we get handouts to them? Do we send them something? We put something online, obviously. They can see afterwards.
It's too tight.
So the professional development program actually started last fall, a year ago, with the freshman class. And so those of you who are sophomores, some of you have already heard me talk about this probably, you were introduced to this. So each semester, we're encouraging you to get involved in activities outside of your classrooms so that you can develop in skill areas that employers are looking for. As Josh was saying, you really like to have a job when you graduate, right? And you've been doing a lot of the things that you need to do all along, right, to become employed. What do you think the number one skill is that employers are looking for? Like communication, right? Yeah, soft skills, communication. I mean, that's sort of a hard skill too, and for a lot of us, right? The communication. How many of you ask questions in your classes? How many answer questions in your classes? How many of you sit right in the front row in your classes so that you can be really involved in your classes? Ooh, only got a couple of you. You should be sitting right in the front row in all of your classes, right? Because you want that professor to know who you are, and you want to be able to be actively involved in that class. Who do you think writes really good letters of recommendations? Right? Professors. If you're hiding in the back, which many of you like to do probably, if you're hiding in the back and your professor never gets to know you, then you're missing out on an opportunity to, to really have a great connection and to network, right? It's the number one skill. Also, when you're job hunting, is networking. Okay, so if you look at, did you guys put them here? So when you look at the skills that the Professional Development Committee came up with, there's 6 skills that we feel that you should really develop in your time here at Behrend so that you can become employed. How many of you would just like to have a job in your field when you graduate? All of you? You should? Right. I didn't have one. You should have
I would have, but I can't.
I understand. So when you look at the 6 skills, all right, look at those 6 skill areas. Networking is really, really important. Networking even among your peers. So all of these activities that Josh was talking about, that's a great opportunity to even practice networking skills. To talk to people you don't know. How often do you talk to another student you don't really know? How often do you strike up a conversation in class? Do you do that? Do you get to know one another? You know the person sitting right next to you, turn to your right and look at the person right next to you right now. That person could be hiring you eventually, right? And if that person remembers you as kind of, shy and not really speaking much in class and, he wasn't really impressed with you or she wasn't really impressed with you, you might not get a job, right? You might not get hired. So networking starts here, all right? So you've got communication skills and networking, right? Leadership skills. How many of you thinking you might like to maybe be a club officer? That would be a really cool thing to do. Yeah, okay. Got some people who are kind of thinking about that. That's a way to develop leadership skills. Find out if you like to be in a leadership position, right? Business acumen. You're developing that in your classes, right? Right? Where would you also think that they would develop sort of business acumen?
I think by putting themselves in situations where they're professional network, which there's a ton of them. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can start learning about businesses, right? I think one of the things that's really exciting is that you can just go onto a website for a business you're interested in and learn a ton of stuff about that business. And learn about whether they're offering internships, whether they have jobs, job shadowing, what other kinds of programs they might have. How about community engagement? What is the Finance Club doing in the community to get involved in community engagement skills? Weren't you talking about something last week that you're hoping that they?
We were talking about hopefully getting involved in front of city
Yes. The Homeless Awareness Week is coming up. Is it this month or next month? Okay.
We also do junior achievements as well, which is a finance type of organization that helps teach kids about business and entrepreneurship. Things of that sort.
Very nice, very nice.
First Harvest Food Bank is another place the club has participated in the past. And probably starting next semester, the FMA will be involved in the financial literacy out.
Could volunteer somewhere else just to get involved in the community. And employment readiness. Where do you think employment readiness comes from a lot? Doing what? Employment readiness. Maybe an internship, right? Maybe even just going and touring the floor at the it's Erie Insurance, going and just, you're learning all the time about employers, the more you get involved in some of these activities, right? And you're becoming more ready to become employed, right? So how many of you have seen the demonstration on Suitable, our online program that we're using? Quite a few of you. Good. How many of those people who have seen it are actually on there and working, doing some activities? Ooh, one of you? Well, I'm going to show you the Suitable program. Better than I used to be with technology, but I'm not as good as everyone else. Okay, so Suitable is a startup company that we've really taken a great interest in here, and we're kind of forming a relationship with these young entrepreneurs who started Suitable in the spring. They're two brothers who graduated from the University of Pittsburgh, and they saw a need for getting students involved with activities outside of the classroom to make them more employable so that they would develop skills in different areas. So this is our dashboard, they call it, that shows us right now we have 247 students who are on Suitable, and 621 activities have been completed by those students, which is really exciting. And then you can see the competency areas that they're working in. So we would really encourage you, and even if you're a senior, I think seniors should be involved in Suitable too, because you can go in and just catch up on all the activities that you've done in all 4 years here at Behrend. And in December, we are having an employer launch, and we're bringing in all of the big employers in the Erie area, as many as we can, and we're introducing them to Suitable. There's going to be a whole new employer piece to Suitable, and they can go in and look at what you're doing. So they're going to see all of the activities that you are completing. So if we take a look at the leaderboard, there are 20 students who are on the leaderboard, okay? And you'll probably recognize some of these names, maybe not. But you can actually look at this. You can actually see what Mary has been involved in. Is Mary here? Does she have an answer? Okay. So you go in and take a look, and this is their Visco brothers. Their last name is Visco. They are they're going to be rolling out a newer version October 19th of this, so it's going to have a lot more bells and whistles. You're going to be able to see all of these activities even better. But you can see what she has completed. She's done a cover letter, critique, interviewing workshop. She's done some networking. So you're going to be able to actually go in and see all of the things that she has done. But these activities are are included, they're in 5 different levels of difficulty. So the easiest one, like attend a club meeting, that's in there, right? Attend a club meeting is under just the associate level or the intern level, sorry. And I want to talk with Josh and get all of these things that are coming up for the finance club and the finance majors. Get these in here, so I can add all of these activities in here. If you volunteer at the high school day, you can go in and click in Suitable that you've done that, and you've earned another point. So when you go through these and you do these activities and the employers are looking at what you're doing, the employers are gonna be offering incentives. They're gonna be offering money, some of them probably. They'll be offering scholarships, maybe even spend a day on the floor of a trading company, right? So all of these things are really exciting because you're gonna be doing this every semester. Those of you who are freshmen, you're gonna do it every semester for your 4 years. And those of you who are even seniors, you get in there and you start putting in activities, you're gonna be able to have a portfolio basically created of everything that you've done in your 4 years of Behrend, right? I mean, what better way to do this, and what a fun way to do this, because you're gonna be competing against your classmates. We'll be able to look at, by major, how many students are participating and what activities they're completing. And another nice feature of this is that if you have something that you want me to add as an activity, I can go right in. You can actually put in a request to me. So here's a task. So Josh, we have got the alumni task force is there are meetings 2 meetings a month, right? So what do you call it? And we like some fun catching. Task force 1?
Sure.
How's that? Task force 1. All right, so we'll put this in here. And we're going to say attend meeting, right, of, how do you want to write it out?
Of the alumni task force.
Okay. Okay, and so, what would we put this under? What type of skill?
Business
Or business acumen, or even networking, right? Would that be a better choice because you're going to be meeting with different ones?
That's just one, probably the business act.
Okay, we can go back in there, all right? So, and what would we say would be the level of this that you want to do? An associate?
Associate.
Associate? Okay. So now that activity has been added, you can go, when you attend one of those, you can go in and say that you attended. Doesn't it sound like a great program? I just saw the founder of Snapchat, Stephen Colbert's, was it Tonight Show, when he took over. Do you know how much that young man is worth? How much? 16 billion. And what does Snapchat do for you? Sorry, I did a Snapchat for a little while, but only because somebody pressured me. But something like this, I can see this system is going to go wild. This could go internationally. And we are one of the first 4 colleges to have this. They only have 4 colleges that are using Suitable now, and you are going to have that opportunity to use this. So please get in there. You see on the bottom, you go in, there's an address there, Black School, and you just go in, create a profile. Please put a picture in. If you put a picture in there, you get another point. It's not hard. Okay? Any questions just about Suitable? The other nice thing, I really should stress this because just the last 2 Mondays now, we're getting into a nice routine, and we've got a schedule set up. Every Monday, an email is going out to every student who is in Suitable with all the announcements of things that are happening. So if there's a deadline for an internship, that's going to go out in an email, and you will have access to that. Not anybody else, just the students who are in Suitable. So for that reason alone, you should go into Suitable so that you're going to be really in the know about different activities that are coming up. You want to add anything else about Suitable?
No, I think it's a wonderful program, and I think it's great that we're cutting edge as we are with so many things here.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just amazing to me that we're doing this. So, we go back to the analytics, go back to the dashboard. So we'd like to see you, get into this and become a part of this activity. So also, Josh wanted me to just kind of quickly talk about internships. That young man I just mentioned who went 4 years as an accounting major and decided he didn't want to be an accountant. What if he had done an internship between his sophomore and junior year? Wouldn't he have maybe found that out sooner, that he really didn't like that field, didn't like the idea of being in an accounting firm? Internships are just an incredible way to find out what you don't want to do as much as what you do want to do. Passion, right? To find your passion, you have to experience different things. And it's not a bad thing to change your major or to, decide you want to go into a different field. But doing an internship is a great way to find out what you like doing and what you're good at doing, right? And as Josh said, it's really great on your resume. I'm looking at some of the resumes for the students who are graduating in December and next May. I am so impressed with all that the students are doing here at Behrend, and especially in the School of Business. But there is kind of a process to get into internships. One thing that I've been a little bit worried about is that October is the deadline for many companies for next summer. How many of you would like a summer internship? You should all be raising your hand now, right? So you should be, well.
For the seniors.
Yeah, that is true. But actually, I do know that some graduating seniors actually do another internship even after they graduate. So you should be looking online now to the websites for different employers. They have deadlines, they have dates that they'll indicate on those websites. So this is just kind of, this is kind of a checklist of what I've seen so far, and Greg may even, Dr. Phil, Greg's fine. Sorry. He may even have some more things that he would add to this, but we are really partnering with ACPC. How many of you have been to ACPC already? And good. How many of you went to the career fair? Good. And you can put that on Suitable. You can go in and indicate that you went to the career fair. But we're coordinating with them to try to help students know of the opportunities, the internships that are coming on. So you want to make sure that you have a resume on the Nittany Lion Career Network. You want to make sure that you go in there and you look at employers who are posting their internships and posting their job opportunities. And one of the things that you really want to be working on is even your GPA, because a lot of these internships, the employers are only looking for GPAs of 3.5 and higher, right? And this is a fact. If you think that your scholastic abilities are not going to be called into question when you have a 2.5, employers may not even look at you for internships. So I recognize, and everybody knows that some of you have part-time jobs, some of you have other responsibilities, you're involved in clubs, you're involved in sports. All of those things are wonderful, and you also get points on Suitable if you're on a team, if you're involved in a musical group. All of those things you get points for. It's not just kind of the more dry things, I won't say necessarily. Even if how many of you have a checking account? You can get a point on Suitable for having a checking account. Okay? How many of you fill out your own FAFSA? Ooh, wow, I'm impressed with that. I've never even done that. You get points in Suitable for filling out your own FAFSA. So anyway, GPA is really important. So try to figure out how you can get better grades, how you can get more involved in your classes, how you can get into study groups, tutoring, whatever it is. It really does matter. You can go to ACPC for interviewing skills. All of those things are there. Those are wonderful resources for you to take advantage of. And so I think I'm kind of stop talking now and ask you if you have any questions for me. I was trying to kind of time myself to say that.
Well, for questions, let's bring up our full panel for that.
Okay.
So can student panel come up, please? We're gonna have students that have had really interesting or really useful internships, just to discuss their
Should we get
experiences.
seat up or?
Yeah, come up, stand up. And while everyone's coming up, we have pizza and soda. So if anyone wants some, I mean, I don't mind taking free pizzas home, but I mean, please have some pizza, have some soda.
I'm not staying.
Yeah, there's not enough chairs, I think, to bring them up.
There's two right there.
All right.
Man, all dressed up.
I know.
No place to go.
Yeah, make sure it's a really good shot.
Would that be okay?
Once I have
Yeah.
that,
Would you be able to sit there?
Oh, so you don't just the rule. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we can go down the line, starting with Eric. Introduce yourself, talk about your internship fit.
Sure. So I know we're cramped for time. We're going to respect yours this time. So my name is Eric Frei. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm a senior finance student. But a couple different internships. My first one was working for a lavender farm out in Seattle. I just did some business analysis for them at night and weeded for them during the day. During the day. Yeah. So did that for about 10 hours a day, and then at night I would do some sort of business analysis and ended up saving the company $16,000 while I was there. So that's cool. And then I got an internship at GE Transportation. Then I interned for a financial consulting firm this summer where I was able to travel weekly between Florida and northern Minnesota. And I'm back at GE Transportation again this summer. Or this
Want to mention something about Eric? I'm going to brag on some of these as we're going along. So Eric was the first non-Ivy League intern that this consulting firm had ever taken. So kudos to him in getting that internship.
Thank you.
I'm Andy Dulesky. I'm a senior finance manager. My internship was I spent 4 months in Munich, Germany. That's why I look all goofy. I worked for Ernst & Young, EY. They're one of the big four accounting firms. I spent the summer, I audited 6 different companies, including Siemens, Osram, West Wing, the really big companies throughout Europe. So, it's a good experience.
For me, it's kind of hard to follow up on these two. I mean, two really cool internship experiences over the summer. But I had an internship outside of Pittsburgh in New Kensington. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that area, but it was with a firm called Polyconcept. They're a promotional products company. So they kind of buy supplies from Asia, stamp on, PNC, Penn State Behrend, or any company name and sell it to that company for markup. So I did some back office finance and accounting work, just kind of dealing with their cash position on a daily basis because they have accounts in like 10 different countries. So I would kind of see where the cash position was on a daily basis, and then report to the controller, treasurer, and the CFO as to what was going on with their cash on a day-to-day basis, so that they knew what they had accessible. And then I helped with some presentations that they gave to their key core investors, like their angel investors, I guess, of the firm. So it was definitely a great experience. I got to learn a lot about myself and about the corporate finance world, and it was great. So it's kind of my internship experience.
All right, so my internship experience was pretty much networking done well. So over the past couple of years, in addition to bothering Dr. Philbeck about internship opportunities, I've been trying to make connections with people at companies that I wanted to work for, one of which was Erie Insurance. So when I applied for an actuary internship, I went through the usual channels. I went online, sent in my application, and then I started bothering the actuaries to say, hey, I've applied to work for your section. Can you please, push my resume a bit? They didn't want me. I didn't have the qualifications needed for an actuarial internship, but they managed to push my internship to a different department, commercial underwriting, which they were really interested in me for a new program they were starting up. So they hired me as a summer intern, liked me well enough to keep me for the fall, and I've actually accepted a full-time job offer from them. So networking is crucial for finding. So networking is absolutely crucial for finding a good internship. I've got a good resume. I do a lot. My GPA is good, but without people in the company to help push you, it's really easy to get lost in the shuffle. Because I know just for your internship, and I know it's probably the same for a lot of these, somewhere over 200 people applied for the internship I got, and they took 7. So it's really hard to make a splash. So you need somebody there to have your back and kind of, be your sponsor.
All right, my name's Natalie Barkley, and I'm a senior as well, and I had 2 different internships. My first one was at Schaffner Knight and Manat doing litigation and valuation. So I was doing valuations of small businesses and even doctors in the area using different valuation techniques based on financial statements. And then my second internship this summer was with a senior financial advisor. So I went on his client meetings and I helped him rebalance portfolios by ETFs he mostly dealt with and retirement projections, child savings projections, things of that nature. So I definitely think that is really important, even if you don't necessarily see something being beneficial right now, like going to maybe a luncheon, you're like, oh, I'm not interested in that sort of topic. Even just go, just to talk to the people and make yourself more comfortable in different situations, because even though it might not be exactly what you want to do, it makes you more comfortable speaking to people. So when it really matters, you're able to communicate, if that makes sense.
So for this part of our meeting, what we're going to do is you guys can ask us questions. You can direct it to our specific person. You can ask anything about our internships or experience at Penn State Behrend, what that sort of things looks like, and we'll try and answer them in a concise way. And I know that you said you had set something up, so if the online students wanted to ask questions again, Josh will have his email on his person. So, do you have any questions? Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give people that don't necessarily have like qualifications for internships yet, like all of them, but they do want to get that internship or like that job? What kind of advice would you give?
What do you mean by qualifications? Like just experience, GPA?
Yeah, like
all those
experience
things?
in a class or like in a class that would relate to this internship.
What year are you?
I'm a senior.
Senior?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I actually had it my first internship, my first semester as a business student, and I really didn't have any experience at all because I transferred majors, and I don't know, just be confident in what you do, what you're saying, carry yourself well, say the classes that you, because you do have experience that matters, and a lot of places are looking for younger students because a lot of the times the things that they teach you are job specific. So I think that if you don't think you have the qualifications, you're wrong. So you definitely have what it takes, and just be confident in yourself and be prepared for an interview.
Yeah, and definitely it might not even be for you, but for anybody. I mean, like it's important in my eyes, like to have an idea of where you want to go, and then like to kind of plan out how you want to get there. So like if you see where you want to go to in the future and who you want to be like, in that point, then like what's required to get there. And I think like digging in like now and getting involved in like any club, like whether it be the finance club with us and like getting involved with like, leadership, because that's been something that's helped me in interviews. I mean, it seems like in every interview, like they always ask like, what type of leadership experience do you have? To see like if you're a leader or not, and I think that, I mean, the finance club has definitely given me some points to speak about, to kind of show them and prove to them that you are that person. So like getting involved in any club and like being involved with something like that, or like the cardboard city or the alumni task force, anything that you want to do. An internship's great, and then just having like a lot of confidence, I think, is really important into anything you do. You know what I mean? Because, but definitely just start to get involved
And ask us too, like if you or anyone else is interested in having some sort of experience, we can create something for you. So if you wanted like a leadership opportunity in the alumni task force, we can make some sort of leadership experience for you. You can put on your resume and give you some tangible experiences as well. So if you do want to get involved more or feel like you need some sort of experience, you can shoot me or Josh an email. We're more than happy to get you involved. But I think at the end of the day, someone told me no one's going to be a better advocate for yourself than you are for yourself. So it's really just going and being aggressive and hustling a little bit. I think that's what it comes down to, making sure at the career fair and not just there passively, but there actively and taking care of those sorts of things. Did that answer? Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was just going to say, also, make the most of your connections. I mean, you might not have everything on your resume to stand out. Get help. Dr. Phillips knows pretty much everyone on the planet that works in business.
And on Mars.
He's got 5 people sitting here in 5 different countries that could forward an email that could introduce you to someone. There's always some way to set yourself apart. So even if you don't feel like you have what it takes, or don't have, on paper showing that you have what it takes, you can find somebody or some way to kind of set yourself apart.
I'll also mention, just add to that we have a very loyal alumni base. I mean, it's not like they graduate and they go away. On our Facebook page, there are 425 alumni that are part of our group. So these folks have stayed in touch, and they are willing to go to bat for you. So if you have an interest in a company, we've maintained contact over the last decade with about 90% of graduates. Come let us know if you're looking for a particular position. If we've got an alumni there, these alumni are phenomenal at being willing to help. I'm going to brag on Kelsey for just a second, who's sitting over here. But she went through and harvested my LinkedIn connections, and she came up with a list of people she wanted to connect with based on financial leadership development programs that are existing in the corporate finance area. And we're betting about a 75% rate on people responding and saying, yeah, I'll push your resume through, I'll help. I'll be an insider for you on that. So there's a lot of ways that you can get assistance, but you have to take advantage of these opportunities. Panel?
I agree. Something silly that I did is I'm from Seattle, and they have a Seattle Alumni Association. And so I just decided that I was going to post on different people's pictures and post my resume to their different pictures and say, hey, I saw you worked at Microsoft. Well, my name is Eric. Or I love your picture. I saw you work at Microsoft. My name is Eric, and here's my resume. And I actually, I'm in 3 different companies contact with them just because of something stupid, or like, hey, I'm going to the Penn State football game this weekend. Super excited to represent the Penn State. Here's my resume. I'm also actively looking for a job. So I'm not like, there's no like embarrassment level for me. Like I'll do just about anything to get there. And so I think that's what's worked well for me. It's just like doing things that you don't always think of.
Tell what you did in the Finance 451 joint project at the end.
Yeah, at the end. So we had the opportunity to be with a panel. We were interviewed by a panel of alumni for our project. And at the end, I decided I wanted to stick around and connect with each of the people. So I went and shook all their hands and talked with them. Then I reached out to Dr. Philbeck and asked them for their emails. I sent them each individualized emails asking if I could go out to lunch with them. And then over the next few weeks, I was able to go out to lunch with a great portion of them and just learn a ton about a lot of different industries. I went out to lunch with engineering people, with people that was a guy that was in banking, that was finance, all sorts of things. And so just even being able to, we talked about business acumen, right? Being able to have those business conversations, right? Being familiar with that sort of language.
Josh mentioned he's already got a job, but I'd be curious because you guys did it all right, and you all did an internship search. You got a lot of seniors in here as well. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing in your job search right now, building off of what you did on internships that would be relevant to seniors?
I've talked a lot.
One of the things that I've been doing is, because I don't necessarily want to go back to Munich, so I've been going through the channels that I was looking for internships with and following up with emails. So like I've been emailing people that I haven't emailed in over a year and sending like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but here's my resume. This is what I did. And the response I've been getting is amazing. I had an interview on Monday from somebody that I talked to over a year ago, and I said, I don't know if you remember me, but take a look. And they passed it along, and it went really well. I'm going to be going up to Cleveland for 4 days, and it's like 4 straight days of interviews. So it's been going well.
That's great. I've, that's awesome that you've been doing that. But I've been, just looking into any like financial advisory type firm that because I want to be a financial advisor after school. So going to any of the advisory type firms and just sending your application through and just going to all these places. I know Adam Nelson came by like a month ago. I don't know if you guys were at that meeting or not, but I know I actually met and talked with him about the career path just to see what it was all about, to learn, what type of skills are required on the job, if he's found it fulfilling for him in his life. So he's been a great contact, and he's helped me get involved with the interviewing process at Edward Jones, which is what I really want to go to, and a career for it, to go and market yourself to all of the employers, to kind of show them who you are, sell yourself to them at that time. And something I haven't done yet, but Eric kind of, or Dr. Philbeck gave me an idea when he said Kelsey did this, and but I definitely want to go onto Dr. Philbeck's page and start looking at his LinkedIn connections and other connections into the advisory field, because I mean, it's like growing up, people have always said like it's about like who you know and not what you know. which I find that to be like a half truth, really, because you definitely need to know some things. You can't get away with not knowing anything, right?
Yeah.
But like it definitely helps like so much to know people and to have that person, and to have that person's vote of confidence for you in their firm. So it's pretty important. I'm still hunting and hungry to find something. So let's hope it turns out better here soon.
That's good. And one thing to remember when you're networking is always ask that person you're talking to if they have another person they would recommend you talk to, because that's networking. It's getting to a bigger amount of people, and it could be way down the road, and you've had all these different contacts, and that one person is the person who's going to be hiring you. So always ask for one or two more names of somebody they would refer you to. And getting back to your question too, I actually got my job at John Hancock because I was talking to a friend at a church dinner, and he wanted me to come in and interview for a systems analyst position. I was a social worker at that point. He wanted me to be a systems analyst. I didn't even know what a systems analyst was. But I went in and I thought, well, if I get in with the company, then maybe I can get into something that I like even more. But he knew that from my past experiences, job experiences, that I had the skills that were transferable. From being a teacher and a social worker, I had the skills to be a systems analyst. And I did that job for 4 years and I really loved it. And that got me into that company. Even though I wasn't recognizing my skills, they recognized my skills. And that's a really good thing for you to do. If you go to ACPC or come see me, we'll talk about the skills that you're not even recognizing you have. That's how you market yourself. And you take those with you wherever you go. Even if you're volunteering somewhere or you were a social worker and then you went to become a systems analyst, those are transferable. Those are what the employers are really looking for.
And I think to that point, I would agree 100% with that. And just something that I think that we do sometimes is that we're like, we want a job and we're applying, we're trying really hard, but we're actually not doing anything effective. And so a goal that I set for myself, like in order to get a job or an interview, you have to apply to places. So like that bottom line is at least something that I felt like was very important. So each morning I wake up a little bit early and I apply to 2 jobs. Even though it's been fairly fruitful and I have some interviews and I have opportunities to travel next week to a couple different companies to interview with them, I'm still applying to 2 jobs each day until I get an offer that I'm still like I want to accept. So I think that's what I do for myself. I'm not saying that's the best answer, the right answer, or the wrong answer, but I think that we have to do it. At the end of the day, we can talk about it, have these great meetings, but until we do it, we're not really.
Any job is a job.
Yeah.
You take on that part-time job now.
And I've got down to a science. It's about like 14 minutes for me to apply to each job. So, but what questions do you guys have? I know if you have to leave, we try and end around 5 o'clock. We got started a little bit, or 6 o'clock. Thank you. I know we try and be respectful of that time. So if you have to leave, we understand. But what other questions do you guys have? Anything for us? Yeah. What's your name? Sorry. Ayush. Nice to meet you.
I'm a freshman and I don't have anything substantial to put in my resume. If I want to apply for a
ACPC is a really great tool. I was a business intern with the ACPC for a semester, and they're very helpful, and they can help you with all those sorts of things. But I wouldn't count your experiences short because you do have experiences, whether it's with your freshman seminar class. Have you taken that class yet? It starts October. You're going to have a project that you're going to be able to work with teams during that class and put those sorts of things on there. But just remember, so my first internship was weeding most of the day with the company and then doing a little bit of pro bono business analysis at night. And it was me knowing nothing. So really, wherever you start is okay.
There's also a lot of different ways you can polish your resume even as a freshman. I know Luis.
He had to go to another meeting.
He became vice president of this club as a freshman. You can go do the Bloomberg Terminal. It's a fantastic resource for finance research that companies love to see because usually they have to spend a lot of money training you. We can learn it for free here. It's like a $20,000 per person tool that we get for free. So if you do that, that's another boost on your resume. Any school project, any club you can get involved in can polish that resume and make it stand out. Companies love to see people that are still kind of low level because then they can start recruiting you early and get in if they think that you're motivated and high speed.
Absolutely. Anyone else have a question?
I'd like to add one more thing about Suitable. If you go in to sign up for Suitable, don't worry if the right dorm isn't in there or whatever residence hall you might be in or where you live off campus or anything. Just choose something. And also, when you get a confirmation, it may go to your spam. So check your spam when you sign in there. But all of you should be going on and doing that immediately and taking advantage of that too. And the Bloomberg site, that's something that would be really helpful to even have as a topic of your next meeting, right? I mean, that's really a great opportunity to.
Max?
Eric, we have some freshmen here. Do you want to talk about the Line Network and ACPC?
Sure. So does the Nittany Lion Career Network, it's where they post.
I'll pull it up.
Sure, yeah, Josh will pull it up. It's a great opportunity where employers come looking for Penn State students. And what they do is that they apply job postings and you can apply your resume there. Today I just found out actually that 4 companies want to interview me. And it was all through applying at the Nittany Lion Career Network. So I'm excited about that. So there's definitely good fruits that come through the Nittany Lion Career Network because a lot of the people that post jobs there are also alumni. The recruiters there are alumni of the school. So, and then the ACPC, I hope that you probably had this course beat before, right? The ACPC, it's a fantastic resource. I go there every time, not every time anymore, but I go there when I have a group of interviews, I go there each time and ask to have them ask questions and look through my resume every time I make a change and make a cover letter. And I know that there's buzzwords in my resume that really help me get these interviews. And it's all because of the ACPC and other people looking through it.
And World Campus students, you have complete access to all of the resources from ACPC. So any of our online finance majors, you can do mock interviews. You can actually go through Skype.
And so you can search all sorts of opportunities here. If you guys help, that's again like this mentoring program that Dr. Goodluck talked about. If you are a freshman or sophomore and maybe you're like, wow, this is a lot of information or Eric talks too much, you can sign up for the mentoring opportunity and we can kind of talk to you more one-on-one. Or if you ever see me or any of the officers or really any of us, we're a community of finance around, be sure to ask us questions. And I know I ask you guys questions and that really helps me out. So be sure to, I'd love to return the favor if you do ever have any questions. And so you're able just to search and apply. A lot of them are generally over in this area. Like Microsoft isn't there, but Boeing's on there. So I applied through Boeing. And I guess Natalie talked about going to all these events that we have. Some of them are more boring than others. I've been to most of the events that we put on, but it's again, learning how to smile through something that's boring, right? That's a skill that we can obtain, right? And so it's just like, no matter what it is, you should just go and participate and be a part of and be an excited participant of, because you never know when that skill, when you're in a meeting and your boss is putting you to sleep, but looking engaged is a skill that's important besides looking disengaged. So that training came from me through some of my classes that were more boring and some other things as well. But that's a skill that you really can't get anywhere else besides just putting yourself out there and getting involved. Netflix won't help you with that one.
I think actually a lot of those times that I know when I first became a business student, I was really overwhelmed by a lot of the technology, and I was like, holy cow, I don't know what these people are talking about. Like, I will never cut it in this. And I think a lot of it is just exposing yourself to the opportunities and hearing the way that people talk, and then you realize they're just talking about the same thing that's been happening pretty much over the past 6 months. And they throw words out there and they sound really impressive, but a lot of it is just going to those meetings so you hear the terminology, have more of an idea of what people are talking about. And read like the news, read finance news, stay alert of what's going on, because that's really important when you go to interviews, that you know what's going on, what's current, and you can relate to.
Does anyone have any other questions? Well, thank you guys for coming. You know, I know like Natalie said, there's a lot thrown at you, but make sure you're at least doing one thing every day. That's kind of how you get started and make sure you're doing something good. So thank you guys. Make sure, applications and pizza. Thank you.
Most companies hire in December for summer internships, so if you wait, your chances go way down.
Ship sales.